But you were asking me about I sidetracked. You were asking me about, or you brought up the Border Patrol agent. You said you think some of them are on the take. So I'll tell you, and this is something that's still ongoing. I spent like a couple of months going back and forth from Miami to Mexico and going out into the desert with these people, these searchers that go out and they look for people that have died at the hands of the cartel. Saw some brutal stuff. Saw a man who literally got not just scalped. I mean, they cut off his face. And yeah, it was a fresh body. This wasn't something that had been decomposing I think it happened the night before.
They cut off his face?
His face was missing. They literally carved off this guy's face.
So you saw the innards of his...
It's just his skull was left over. It was horrible. I mean, it was still attached to his body. It was a full body. His face was... They took his face and did something with it. I don't know what they did with it. So a lot of messed up stuff. Anyway, so to go back to your point about the corrupt Border Patrol. So everybody suspects that on some of these Indian reservations that border the United States that there's something afoot there because it's like a nation within a nation. And we went deep into one of these areas. And when I say deep, I mean this area that's cartel controlled. We literally had about 20 federal police trucks, Mexican federal police trucks with us. That's how dangerous it is in there. And these guys were still spooked. They were like, we shouldn't be here. We're driving through and I haven't published all this because I want to put in a documentary and I just don't have all the pieces yet. But I will tell people some of the stuff we found. We're driving this area. One of the things we found, and this is bordering the Tonojo Indian Reservation in Arizona. I'm going to get to your point about the Border Patrol agents. So, I mean, like one of the things we find on the way, these massive burn pits. I mean, these things must be like 20 feet wide and like 10 or 15 feet deep where they just take bodies and burn them. It's brutal. And so anyway, we keep going. And eventually we come across so we go up this mountain. People suspect that there's like an area where there might be some bodies up this mountain. There's nothing. We're coming back down. And we run into an explosive stash. And this is literally, we're talking like 3-4 miles from the U.S. border. I could see the United States, the mountains off in the distance, but it borders the Indian reservation. And I have since learned from people in, let's just say, a 3-letter agency. Think of any 3-letter agency that might operate in that area. That it's known by these men that it's so corrupt on these Indian reservations, and that's why they operate there, because it's just like a porous area where anything goes.
And is it the Border Patrol agents on the Indian reservations or some other?
Well, see, that's so I couldn't tell you that, but what I will tell you is the Border Patrol agents do operate there. They still crawl along that border, even in those areas. I've been there. I've literally gone. It's very sketchy in the Indian reservations. It's like no border there.
The Ajo, Arizona, is that?
It's the Tonojo, like Odham reservation, right?
Yeah, I didn't go there, but I know about it.
Yeah, I've driven in there. I've gone right up to the border and literally been at this. It's
Are
like
you allowed to drive on?
No, I don't think you're allowed to. They can harass you. We just did it, and you could walk right across. Like literally hop this. It's not even a fence. It's like these little metal structures that they have that you could crawl under or climb over, and you're in Mexico. And we had so I know Border Patrol surveils this area because we had a Border Patrol guy come up and kindly escort us out of the area. But the point is that I've heard since I was in this area where I could see the U.S. border from the Mexican side, where we found explosive stash, we're searching for bodies, that this is where they run drugs and explosives and weapons across the U.S. border. And the idea that Border Patrol has no idea, I think, is absolutely asinine. And so
it's also a tough thing for people. I have found it's tough for people to accept.
Yeah.
You and I and Taylor talked about this, I think, over dinner. I think it was like the idea that you're not allowed to investigate that. Though they're good guys. What do you mean they're good guys? I mean, they could be good. They could be, what does that mean?
Right.
What is your price? Because if your price is not your life,